for me. Isn't it my birthday yet? Cause I gotta say, you're looking like a gift for me. Wrapped up nice and neat, baby. Get in my way now, don't be shy. We'll be here dancing day and night. Get in my groove now, don't be shy. Cause I got this list of my favorite things. You could be the part where it all begins. You could be the first and the second and the third and the rest of it. You could be one of the things I love. Sunday morning breakfast with my bedroom door locked. I like everything that has a cherry on top. Get on my list of the things I love, love, love. You could be the one I trust. All the second chances, they are nothing for us. I like it all with the cherry on top. Be one of the things I love. We don't have to move so fast, baby. I will show you how you can catch my vibe. And right away, got so much time looping in the blurry lights. Get in my way now, don't be shy. We'll be here dancing day and night. Get in my groove now, don't be shy. Cause I got this list of my favorite things. You could be the part where it all begins. You could be the first and the second and the third and the rest of it. You could be one of the things I love. Sunday morning breakfast with my bedroom door locked. I like everything that has a cherry on top. Get on my list of the things I love, love, love. You could be.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name's Lisa. It's great to have you. So today's video is a decluttering and organising video. So hopefully this will give you a lot of motivation to get up and get cleaning, get decluttering before Christmas and all that chaos starts, and organising in your own home. So right now I'm just giving you an overview of things that need doing, starting in the kitchen with the larder. And this is where we keep all of our tins, dried and packet foods, bottles, cereals, crisps, snacks, as well as some baking bits and the top shelf and other bits and pieces, cups, glasses, the kids' drinking bottles, just all sorts of stuff in here. And this is our main storage area, even though we do have a few other kitchen cupboards, which that's mainly for like baking and plates and other bits and pieces. But this is where we keep the majority of like the food and everything, basically all of the food actually. So this was a little bit of a jumble, as you can see. A couple of these shelves are a real mess, so they really needed sorting out and tidying up, and maybe just getting rid of some stuff, checking dates and getting rid of some bits and pieces. And there's also a harvest donation which was coming up actually at the time I was filming this, and I did end up donating some bits and pieces which was still in date, but it was stuff that we weren't likely to use in the next sort of several months or so of the date that they had on them. So I ended up donating those for their harvest donations at school and things. So I got a good couple of bags out of that, which was a bonus. At least it didn't go to waste, it didn't all get thrown away. There were some bits obviously that were out of date which I had to get rid of, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff as well that would obviously be handy for somebody else to use. So yeah, I'm just giving you an overview of all of the other cupboards and other bits and pieces that need sorting out, and then we will get cracking.
Pick up the pieces that we left unsaid. I know the tension's gone now, and that you won't stay here. Keep looking back, don't wanna forget you. Yeah, I wanna do it all again, so I keep pushing rewind. Hoping you'll still by my side. We can't get lost in time. But don't you wanna do it all again? Stuck on repeat in my mind, dancing with you by my side.
pretending that I wanted this to happen. I could just say it, say how I feel now, but my tongue is like a wall, keeping words safe in my heart. I can never say that, but I get too far in my thoughts. They take me back to the start, what we were, like we're still all good. I get too far in my thoughts. They take me back to the start, what we were, like we're still all good. You know I miss you the most when I'm lonely. You know I miss you the most when I'm lonely. When it's scary to give in, but somehow love always wins. But then I'm lonely, and my mind doesn't understand. I get too far in my thoughts. They take me back to the start, what we were, like we're still all good. I get too far in my thoughts. They take me back to the start, what we were, like we're still all good. You know I miss you the most when I'm lonely. You know.
So as I said, I'm starting off in the larder, and I did film this whole decluttering video over 3 different days, so you'll see a few outfit changes. So that's the reason why I just wanted to kind of obviously make that clear. I didn't do all of this in one day. It would have been impossible, frankly, because just the kitchen alone is literally nearly an hour worth of this video, hence why it's actually quite a long one. So if you're one of those people that likes watching these long decluttering or cleaning videos, this one is for you, and you should hopefully enjoy it. But this is the first day. I started off on a Sunday, and actually I didn't get started until halfway through the day, so hence why I kind of ended up having to doing the rest of the kitchen for a second day, and then the rest of the areas around the house that I decluttered and sorted out and tidied up, they were filmed on a third day. So this is the first day, and the kids and Neil were at home. Neil was sat in the living room with the kids, sort of like doing the homework and bits and pieces with them. So I sort of cracked on with this, but they did keep walking backwards and forwards, and because I started it halfway through the day as well, I had to kind of stop and get the dinner started and things like that, and then obviously be getting their stuff ready for school the next day and whatnot. So I unfortunately sort of had to cut this bit short. I only kind of got a couple of shelves done in the larder here before I had to kind of abandon it and then carry on the following day when they were back at school. So as you can see, I've taken everything out the bottom of the larder. I thought I'd start there, and I'm just giving the floor a vacuum and a wipe over with some antibacterial floor wipes, and then I'm going to sort through everything and just put it back in some kind of reasonable order that's a little bit tidier, and at least then we can see everything that's in here.
To write our story, wanna shape the new. Do you wanna come along with me? Come along with me. Do you wanna? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, get it right. Gonna keep on running, grab the fun and live it light. And tomorrow's far away. Should I let the party fade? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something. do something, get it right. Gonna keep on running, grab the fun and live it life. And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, get it right. Gonna keep on running, grab the fun and live it life. And tomorrow's far away, should I let the party fade? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, let it snow tonight.
I'm on the train.
Now I've finished the bottom of the larder, I'm going to start on this shelf with a lot of the tins here, and I'm just going to take everything out, and then I'll just literally put it on the floor and sit and go through all of it, check dates and get rid of old stuff that's gone out of date. There was a few things actually at the back there that had ended up gone out of date, and we just hadn't got around to using it. It wasn't too much really. Like I say, I did end up donating a couple of bags worth of stuff that still was in date, had plenty of time left on it, sort of several months or so. And I just thought, well, we're not going to use it, so someone else may as well make use of it. So that went for obviously the kids' harvest donations thing in school. So I'm just going to take everything off of this shelf, give the shelf a wipe down, and then just go through all of the stuff here and sort out what we're keeping, what needs to be thrown away, and what's going to be donated.
First one to get off at the station. There's something in the air that I can't place. And now I see a silhouette in the dark. It's like time has stood still. I'm gonna hold you tighter this time around. Now feeling like I need to escape. The world outside only made me numb. 'Cause I just wanna be here. In our hometown, running free, it could be.
So this is all of the stuff that got taken out of the shelves, and yes, as you can see, it's a bit of a jumble. There's a lot to go through, so I just thought I'd give you an overview just before I start sorting through it and everything. There are a few bits and pieces, like I say, that did need to be thrown away. They'd gone out of date and we hadn't used them.
You make everything fall into place. You make everything. It's just like the saying, you don't know what you got.
So here I'm just going through all of the things and checking dates, and obviously I've got a bin bag here ready to throw stuff away, and then you'll see me putting stuff to the side kind of next to me and behind me of just bits and pieces that are going to be donated that we're not likely to use or we've got excess of and we're not likely to go through it in time. So that was for donation for the school.
You make everything fall into place. How you make everything fall into place. You make everything.
Isn't this the good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages. Show only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. On and on it goes. Round and round the rodeo. Breathing out air for a minute. Taking my time to begin with. On and on it goes. Swinging down in life, you know. Breathing out air for a minute. Yeah. Hey, would you rather stay right here? Make everything disappear. Can play rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't it a me crime to get a little lost in everybody's business? Why don't we all calm down? Why don't we all calm down? I think I'm the wrong size, not enough room for everybody's egos. Why don't we all calm down? Why don't we all calm down? And on it goes, round and round the rodeo. Breathing out air for a minute, taking my time to begin with. On and on it goes, swinging down in life, you know. Breathing out air for a minute, yeah. Hey, would you rather stay right here, make everything disappear? Keep playing my favorite song, put your rose-colored glasses on. What if we stay right here, make everything disappear? Lay low in the beachy sun, put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't this a good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages, citrus in our beverages. Show only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. Hey, would you rather stay right here, make everything disappear? Keep playing my favorite song, put your rose-colored glasses on. What if we stay right here, make everything disappear? Lay low in the beachy sun, put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up all our friends, fill up the car till it bends because we wanna.
So you'll see here I've got this two-tier Lazy Susan, I think they call it, and I just put the herbs and bits and pieces, you know, seasonings and things at the bottom. We only had a few of those as it turned out because I had to actually throw away a few. I ended up with only half as much as what I originally had on here, and there was a few bits and pieces that I knew I wasn't going to use, and it was still in date and stuff, so I just donated it.
We don't need nobody's attention, yeah, we just wanna dance on our own.
And here's all of the stuff that I was left with after I'd sorted everything out. So you can see there's like, you know, tinned baked beans, tinned spaghetti in sauce, there's pot noodles, there's obviously the super noodles, the dried packet noodles, there's tins of sweet corn, pasta sauces, just things like gravy, all different kinds of flavours and stuff, squeezy honey, ketchup, all bits and pieces like that. So I arranged it here so that I could see what I had to put back in the cupboard and got some idea of whereabouts it was going to go. And this was the few bits that I ended up getting rid of. There's a couple of tubs there that I emptied out the stuff because there was only little bits in there, and that's for a recycling bin. And this is the stuff that I ended up donating. It doesn't look like a lot, but I split it into 2 bags just because it was quite heavy. There's quite a few jars and tins there. So now I'm just going to be putting everything back and arranging it in order so we can see a lot clearer what we've got in the larder, and it's not a case of having to move like 5 or 6 things or digging around to be able to see what we've got. I try to rearrange it back into the larder where, you know, if anything we only have to move like maybe 1 or 2 things and we can kind of still see everything.
Think I have too much of process, and I've been feeling kinda hopeless. I know I'm not supposed to feel this way. I know it's been a while since I held you in my arms. And I wasn't ready yet to learn how to live without you.
So as you can see with the outfit change, it's the next day and I'm going to be finishing the larder on this day, and I'm just going through the shelf here where there's the snacks and the biscuits and the crisps and things like that, and then I'll be moving on obviously to the other shelves that I haven't yet done, and I'm just taking everything out just like I did with the other shelves and just sort of obviously giving it a vacuum and a wipe over just to clean it up, and then I'm just going to go through the crisps. I think there was a few that actually ended up being out of date, not by much, I think only sort of you know, barely kind of a couple of weeks or something like that, you know, for the end of the month into a new month, so they were at the bottom, so because they've been buried, obviously they've been forgotten about, so I just had to hook those out, and then I obviously like just stacked everything back once I'd gone through it into some kind of tidier order. It maybe doesn't actually look perfect to some people, but for us it was actually in some kind of order, and it was a lot tidier and neater than what it had been. So this is what I'm doing here now. So I'm just putting some snacks and cookies and things at the back, the packets that haven't yet been opened, and then I'll be going through the crisps and sort of obviously just tidying those up a little bit.
I've been trying to change my mindset, but I'll admit I'm not that good at it. Not one day goes by without me with you, 'cause it's been so long since I held you in my arms. And I wasn't ready yet to learn how to live without you. How could I let you go when I am still in love with you? I'm still in love with you. I'm still in love with you. 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 Light me up, don't you stop, 'cause tonight it's on the line. Show me how you get on down. Close my eyes, take me for a ride. Got to be you. So come and
Now I'm just filling up the cookie jar and just emptying a couple of bits and pieces into some tubs and stuff, and just getting rid of some extra packaging that didn't need to be in there. And then I'm going to make a start on the top shelf where our baking things and things like tubs of sweets and stuff that we keep out of reach of the kids being able to just grab and help themselves to. I'm going to start on that one. I'm actually going to be leaving the cups and drinks bottles and things like that you'll see just there near my head. I'm going to be leaving that till last. That's going to be the last shelf that I do. I just wanted to kind of get all the food and the packages and tins and stuff done first. So I'm just emptying the packaging and getting rid of the excess and things, and just filling things up.
'Cause we ain't done till we hit the sun. Got to be you. So come and light me up. I still need to fire, baby. I still want you by my side. Light me up, let me touch the flame now, baby. I'm your phoenix tonight. Come on and rise. Come on and rise. Come on and rise. Baby, you light me up. I just can't get enough. 'Cause I need your fire. So come and light me up. I still need your fire, baby. I still want you by my side. Light me up, let me touch the flame now, baby.
Now the excess packaging has been got rid of and the sweets and the cookies and things are filled up. I'm just going to go through this tub of baking ingredients and things, just checking dates and getting rid of excess packaging. You know, maybe sort of like if I've got a little bit of something in one packet, small packet, and I've got space to fit it into another packet, just put it all in one, and just bits and pieces like that. I'm just going through and tidying this tub up because some of the birthday candles had kind of tipped out of the boxes and things, and they were all over the bottom. So I just wanted to kind of put them all together in a bag and just go through and check everything and just make sure that I didn't need to throw anything away or nothing had gone out of date. And as you can see, there's some food colourings and things which I did end up having to throw away because sadly I didn't use them in time. So I've just emptied everything out of this tub, and I'm just putting all the candles, the birthday candles, together in this little plastic bag, and then I'll just be putting everything back in the tub in some kind of neater order.
Nobody else obsessed with you, trying to stop me but under your spell. Can't help myself.
So now moving on to this shelf with all the cups and glasses and drinks bottles and things like that. And again, I'm just taking everything out, just putting it all on the sides just to go through and see what I've got and what I wanted to kind of get rid of for charity shop donations, things that we just don't use anymore or just don't really need. And there was a couple of bits that I had to throw away because a couple of the bottles had lost their lids somehow, or their straws and whatever. And there was a few bits that I ended up bagging up and donating for charity shop because we just, yeah, it was just been sat in there for a little while and we weren't going to use it.
Can't help myself. You know too well I need you close. Can't help myself. Try to stop me fall under your spell. Can't help myself.
So now I've gone through everything on this shelf, I'm just going to put everything back in a tidier order. Again, like with the other shelves, it's just so that we kind of don't have to move too much just to find something in the back and things. And it was amazing. I got rid of not loads and loads, but it was enough to actually say that I freed up quite a bit of space in here. So it really felt good. Actually clearing this larder out, it really needed doing. It was long overdue, especially this shelf, because there was just so much excessive stuff that we hadn't used for a long time and we just weren't likely to. So I thought, hey, if it hasn't been used in a year plus, then get rid. You're not going to miss it. So I think it's important to kind of be strict with yourself and just be quite ruthless when you're decluttering and you're reorganizing and trying to tidy up and put things in order. I think you have to be ruthless and just sort of say, okay, unless it's like specifically seasonal, like with decorations and things like that, or certain things, if you haven't used it in a year, then do you really need it? Have you really missed it? There's some things in here that I've completely forgotten I'd put in the back, and obviously I hadn't had to use them, I hadn't missed them, so I just ended up donating them. I thought someone else could make use. And once I finished with that shelf, I also started putting everything back in the top shelf with the baking stuff at the back, and then just obviously the sweets and just a few little bits and pieces that needed to go back on the top shelf that need to be kept out of reach of the kids. So now the larder's all done, I'm just moving over to this cupboard opposite the larder, and this was the kind of next most chaotic space I think in the kitchen actually, so I just decided to tackle these ones first. The other ones weren't too bad actually in comparison to the larder and these two cupboards here that you can see. And I'm not going to do the drawer just above my head there, just because that only has wet wipes and things like pseudo cream and just little bits and pieces like that, so that didn't really need doing. But yeah, this cupboard underneath here, it just had a lot of odds and ends, and mostly sort of kitchen utensils, electric things like the toaster, the slow cooker, the electric whisk, and a few other bits and bobs. And I just wanted to kind of take some bits out of here as well that we just don't use on a regular enough basis, and they ended up going in the back of one of the shelves in the larder where I'd actually made a lot of space. So it just meant that I could literally get a lot of things out of this cupboard, little bits and bobs and knickknacks that didn't really need to be in here. As you can see, I'm putting up on the side, and it ended up going in the back of the larder here where I'm just putting it on the shelf, because as you can see I had quite a lot of space in the back, and I thought, well, I'm clearing out of a smaller cupboard and putting it in this bigger, more well-suited cupboard just out of the way. And then I still ended up having a little bit of space on this shelf as well, even with these bits that I'd put in the back here, so it was less cluttered, and yeah, just meant it freed up space in the other cupboard. and this is the finished result of the larder. I mean, to some people it might still look a little bit jumbled. To us it's actually way tidier and more organised than it was in the beginning. At least, like I say, if we have anything, even the bits at the back, all we have to do is just move 1 or 2 things rather than a dozen things or so, and go digging around in the back and take half of the cupboard out just to try and find something. And yeah, it's a lot more organised for us. It was a lot better. It was a lot more manageable. So now I'm moving on to this cupboard here where we keep all of like the bakeware and the mixing bowls and the jugs and all the Tupperware containers and the kids' lunch boxes that you see there. And there's a lot of other bits and pieces as well which have been stashed in here. And I'm just taking everything out, and then I'm going to sort through all of this and get rid of a few bits and pieces that we don't tend to use. And I'm also going to put a few of the bits and pieces from in here in the larder as well, with the other stuff from the other cupboard next to it, and just free up some space in here, and obviously give it a vacuum and just a little wipe out, and then sort of rearrange and sort through everything so that we can see what we've got in here.
That's the way every day goes. Looking back, I know we started falling. We were falling in love, yeah. Took my heart and you wrote off. Was I feeling never enough for you, baby? When you left me chasing you. Trying to find a place where we can be alone. All those nights lying by your side, like it's a vibe, feeling it shine under your spotlight. We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need right here. Make me sing along. Sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the car.
And this is what they ended up looking like, these two cupboards here. And as you can see, they're a lot neater than they were. To be fair, this side wasn't actually as bad as the other side was, but yeah, the cupboard on the right hand side is definitely a lot neater and it's a lot more manageable. You will see some books in this right hand cupboard here down the bottom, which some people would say, well, should they really be in there? But they were for the kids' school books and things that needed to be sort of like kept close to hand, and I didn't have anywhere else really to put them. And I've in the past put them in the bottoms of their wardrobes, and then things have ended up getting lost or strewn around everywhere or damaged. So it's better if I keep them in here, and then I could just sort of like take them out and go through them and put them in their bags as and when they're needed. And these are the few bits that I ended up donating for charity shop. They were just excess stuff that I didn't need, didn't use on a regular basis, so they didn't need to be in the cupboard, and I thought someone else could make use of them. So moving on to the drawers over the other side of the kitchen, and I'm going to start with the cutlery drawer here. As you can see, there's a lot of kitchen utensils and bits and pieces that I just needed to take out and just go through and perhaps put in the next drawer down as well. I just wanted everything in the top drawer here to be a bit more organised and just have cutlery and the utensils that we use on a more regular basis or on a daily basis in here. And then the second drawer down will be for excess utensils and kitchen bits and pieces that we don't actually use on a regular basis, but I just wanted obviously to be kept handy. So I'm just vacuuming this drawer out and just giving it a wipe over with these antibacterial wipes and just cleaning it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go through all of the stuff in here and pop it all back.
I see you standing there, a soothing atmosphere. Smell of your aftershave, sweet blossom in the rain. You flip around your hair as if you're unaware, but you should know that I'm looking at you. You make me feel like I'm made of colors, just you and me, ignore the others. Do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause I do. I do believe in lovers like me and you. Yeah, you just keep on dancing all night out on the roof. Tell everybody I do, baby, I do. Wanna stay here and let loose. Just keep on loving all night out on the roof. Tell everybody I do. 'Cause I do. Deep down and in those eyes, think I have memorized, oh, every single flare inside your burning stare. Just wanna be inside, keep dancing in your mind. You'll be my nighttime Valentine. You make me feel like I'm made of colors, just you and me, ignore the others. Do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause I do. I do believe in lovers like me and you. Yeah, you just keep on dancing all night out on the roof. Tell everybody I do, baby, I do. Wanna stay here and let loose. Just keep on loving all night out on the roof. Tell everybody I do, 'cause I do.
Now moving on to the second drawer down, and you'll see there's a lot of hand towels and tea towels and stuff which I kept in this drawer anyway. And again, I'm just taking everything out, and I'm just going to sort through it and get rid of any rubbish and bits and pieces. You can see I've taken a few bits out there, and I ended up getting rid of some rubbish that didn't need to be in here and could have been put somewhere else or just got rid of in the bin. I'm just going to fold up the tea towels and the hand towels and things and just put those in here a little bit neater, and just give it a vacuum and a wipe over and sort the utensils and kitchen bits out a little bit better. And at the end, it did actually probably to some people still look a little bit cluttered and full, but it was just a lot more organised than it had been. and there were a few excess bits that I ended up taking out of here, so there wasn't half as much in here. Even though it does actually still look quite full at the end, there wasn't half as much in here as what there had been, and these two drawers were just a little bit more organised. Now I'm sorting out this bottom drawer here, which is where we keep the saucepans and frying pans and saucepan lids. And again, there were a few excess bits here that didn't really need to be in this drawer, and they were kind of filling it up a bit too much. It was a bit cluttered in here. So again, I'm just rearranging this and just sorting it out a little bit better.
Told me you believe in something, and you said you're done pretending that fate is patient.
And as you can see, like I say, with the middle drawer here, it to some people it probably still looks a little bit cluttered, but these are bits that we don't actually use on a regular basis, but I still wanted kept handy. So it's a lot better than it was. The top and bottom drawers were more important to me to sort out, really, and then any excess obviously went in the middle drawer. But as long as the cutlery drawer and like the main kitchen utensils drawer and the saucepans and everything were sorted, then that was probably more important because they really needed doing. And it was chaos in here. Just the idea of sort of getting a saucepan out sometimes was hard work because you had to kind of dig around and move a lot of stuff before you could actually even get a saucepan out. So now I'm moving on to the cupboards under the sink here, and I'm just going to take out all of the cleaning stuff and bits and pieces in here and just again sort through it and give it a vacuum and a wipe out, and then I'm going to put everything back in here a little bit tidier than it was.
Summer's end, and you feel that this is your beginning. Will colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones. And be wild, 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 wild. A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights. And as the bass keep pounding on me, baby, I really wanna make you mine. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever afters. Something about you gives me hope. Something about you, yeah. When the sun goes down and the night sky's falling, do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause deep inside of my wildest dreams, you'll be by my side. When the sun goes city dancing through the night, but I'm not there. You've got me soaring in the clouds. And as the ocean is surrounding me, baby, I'm sure we lost track of time. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever afters. Something about you gives me hope. Something about you, yeah. When the sun goes down and the night sky's falling, do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause deep inside of my wildest dreams, you'll be by my side. When the sun goes down.
And now this is a lot neater than what it actually was, and I can just open the cupboards and just grab stuff out and just see what I've got. And although there's still quite a few bits in here, it is in a little bit more of an order than what it had been, and it's actually freed up a little bit of space, because I did end up getting rid of some bits and pieces that I kind of hadn't used for a while, or I never really used. And I donated a few bits and pieces, cleaning stuff, to the harvest donation thing as well, just to kind of get it out of our way, because yeah, we just weren't going to use it. So I thought, what's the point of it being in there? So the next room that I did was the utility area. It wasn't so much decluttering, it was more about cleaning the washing machine and the tumble dryer up and stuff that really needed doing. As you can see, the drawer is just really disgusting. So yeah, that definitely needed a proper clean, and I cleaned the tumble dryer up a little bit as well while I was here. So this was actually filmed on a third day, so a completely different day to the other two. I managed to get the utility, the bathroom and my desk area done on this same day as I'm doing the utility. So I'm just starting off by taking the washing machine drawer out, and I'm going to give that a clean, and then I'm going to just go in and clean the washing machine and pop it on for a cleaning rinse with some Zoflora disinfectant in, and then I'm going to move on to the tumble dryer and just give that a bit of a clean as well.
Every time I fall, you got me safe inside.
To know ya. Hey, nah, 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 nah. Delve into emotion. Leave us in this moment.
And I have found in the past, when I've been cleaning the washing machine, that using little cotton buds, Q-tips I think some people call them, just in the drainage holes and things around the seal of the door, it really cleans everything up well. You can get in the little crevices and all the little nooks and crannies and bits that you wouldn't normally be able to necessarily get into. So I decided to just use a few cotton buds in these drainage holes here and around the seal of the door, and as you can see, yeah, there was a lot of gunk that came out. It just goes to show that if you don't clean the washing machine properly on a regular basis, then obviously you can't expect it to clean your clothes properly. There's a lot of build up that gets around in these washing machines and around the seals and things like that, places that you would never normally think about. So it is well worth doing sort of every several weeks or so, and this actually admittedly hadn't been done for about 3 months probably. It was the last time that I did it, so it was long overdue for doing it. The drawer I'd cleaned I think a little bit more recently, but yeah, it really did need doing. Leave us in this moment. So now the washing machine itself is all nice and clean. I'm just going to put a cap or two of this Zoflora disinfectant into the drum of the washing machine, and then I'm just going to pop it on a rinse, just to rinse round, just give everything a wash round in here, and then I'll be moving on to the tumble dryer.
Now that I'm looking back, I can see all the signs I tried to fill in the cracks that were spreading.
So with the tumble dryer, the clean needed wasn't as extensive, obviously, as the washing machine, but the drawer needed emptying, and I just obviously got rid of all the fluff from the filter here and just gave that a vacuum over and sort of vacuumed as much as I could inside where the filter drawer goes, and then I just rinsed the filter drawer itself and just got rid of the excess fluff and bits and pieces, and then just gave the door and all around the edge and everything a wipe over just to clean it up a little bit, freshen it up.
Like getting blood out of the stone on my own. But you came around and removed the thorn in my soul. You guided me out of the storm. I found home in your arms of gold. In your arms of gold. In your arms of gold. It's funny how easily a life can be torn apart. Why couldn't I simply see that I was sick at heart and I am in deep debt? The climb we did was unreal. You made me so speechless. I just can't believe it. You broke the coldness somehow and lit up a flame. Ooh, I was my own enemy. Screamed out loud because it felt impossible in my bones, like getting blood out of the stone on my own. But you came around and removed the thorn in my soul. You guided me out of the storm. I found home in your arms of gold. In your arms of gold. In your arms of gold. I rise from the ashes with pins and patches. We carry on. I rise from the ashes. I heal from your passion. My doubts are gone. Felt impossible in my bones, like getting blood out of the stone on my own. But you came around and removed the thorn in my soul. You guided me out of the storm. I found home in your arms of gold. In your arms of gold. In your arms of gold. I rise from the ashes with pins and patches. We carry on. I rise from the ashes. I heal from your passion. My doubts are gone. I'm buzzing, let's drink up. Your death look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that Marvin Gaye song. I'm stunning, you love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some
So now the washing machine and tumble dryer all nice and cleaned up, I just gave the floor a quick vacuum, and then I went round and just wiped the window frames a little bit because they were a little bit dusty. Obviously they do kind of get a few bits in here where the laundry is kept, and obviously taking out the tumble dryer, fluff kind of blows up in the air and settles on the windowsills and things. So I'm just giving it a good vacuum here, and then I went round and just gave the windows on the inside a bit of a clean, and then I steamed the floor. And also while I was in here vacuuming, I gave the skirting boards just a little bit of a wipe over, because they obviously are right inside the front door and they just get scuffed and they get a little bit dusty where things blow in from outside when you open the front door, and the kids sort of like kick the skirting near the wall and things like that. So there were a few marks there, so I just gave that a wipe over just to freshen that up a little bit. And I also cleaned the inside of the door and the window inside the door as well.
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all those lonely nights and heartbreaks. And I feel misplaced without you. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to, never wanted to end it like we did. I guess shit happens for a reason, but it's like something feels different from back then. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to, honestly I'm open wide. I don't feel like waking up without you by my side. I still see your silhouette. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to your bedroom? I still see your silhouette. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to your bedroom?
And as you can see, this mop pad was absolutely disgusting. Although this gets done on a fairly regular basis, obviously because it is inside the front door, this floor really does get filthy. And because we'd had wet weather as well recently, when I was filming this, the floor was extra dirty. So it really did need a good going over.
Page a game where the rules do not apply. Now I see when it's out in the light, and I'm leaving your life behind. Now I see that you're out of my life. I don't need you.
Now I'm going to be tackling our little storage area under the bath here, and we have sort of 3 compartments. It's going to be mostly these main 2, because the other side is actually just sort of a few cleaning bits and stuff which I use to clean the bathroom with. So I'm not going to worry too much about that really. It is mostly this end compartment here that I'm emptying right now, and the middle one, and a few bits from here will be going in the cupboard under the sink as well. Just a few extra toilet rolls and stuff just stocking up there, and a few little toiletry bits. but I had to take all of this out and just rearrange it, and I ended up getting rid of a few bits and pieces, and emptying that Epsom salts bag into the jug down by the side of the bath as well, just to get that out from under here. And it really did need a sort out. It was long overdue. This is something that I've been meaning to do for the last few weeks really, and I just hadn't got around to doing it. So I thought it was about time, and I obviously thought it would be a great idea to include it in this video as well. So I'm just gonna take everything out of both these compartments and just sort through, and then put everything back a little bit neater than it was.
Yeah. One step 달려와줘 like Amelia. 나만 사랑한다고 가져왔던 떨림마저 저 바람결에 사라지는 것. 저 푸른 바다 자수 아래 우린 Cadillac Drive. Your shine, just take my hand. You 어서 용기 내 기다리는데 왜 모르니. Yeah, I'm ready. One step 달려와줘 like Amelia. Just take my hand. You 어서 용기 내 기다리는데 왜 모르니. Yeah, I'm ready. One step 달려와줘 like Amelia. 나만 사랑한다고 가져왔던 떨림마저 저 바람결에 사라지는 그림자 가까워지고 Can you see me shaking? Hear the sound of my heart breaking. Bless the soul that's aching, hoping I survive. The feeling lingers on every day of every month, wishing I just could forget about you. The weight upon my bones makes it harder to move on. Oh baby, don't think that I'll ever forgive myself for losing you, or for losing you. Left our love up on those dusty shelves. Can't forgive myself for losing you. For losing you.
And although there's still quite a few bits under the bath here, and again, it's one of those classics that to some people it might look a little bit chocker still, it is actually a lot more organised than it was, and at least we can see more of what we've got. As you can see, there's so many bottles here of men's shampoo and foam bath and things like that, which, because they were right at the back, we didn't even know that we had, and Neil had kind of bought them thinking he'd run out, and he actually hadn't because it was so cluttered under here and we couldn't see what we actually already had. So it really needed doing, and it felt so much better afterwards. It was a bit more organised. So now I'm moving on to my desk area in the living room, and this was a little bit cluttered. Again, it was something that I'd wanted to do for the last few weeks, just to kind of take everything out and just sort of see what I had in here, and move any bits and pieces that needed to be put somewhere else, and just get rid of some stuff. And this drawer especially was very, very cluttered. I really struggled to find anything in this drawer. I have to take half a dozen things out or more before I can actually find what I'm looking for. So it really, really did need doing, and it needed a good dust and a vacuum down here in the corner because it does get quite dusty. That printer I ended up moving and putting somewhere else because it didn't need to be there. It was kind of getting in the way. When I sit here at my desk and do editing and things, I keep sort of like knocking it with my knee and almost knocking it off the shelf here. And I also got myself a new desk on desk planner kind of thing, which you can also stick on the wall, and it's magnetic as well, so you can put it on like a metal surface or anything if you've got like a board on the wall, or just a metal frame or something. But I wanted it kind of put on my desk so that I can just sort of like write on it or make notes or whatever, and just plan things out with regards to videos and stuff like that. So I'm going to be popping that on my desk as well. And I also bought myself a new diary. This is like a mid-year diary kind of thing, because my other one was just so messy and scribbled in, and it's very, very difficult to organise a diary when it's an absolute mess and there's just crossings out and there's Tipp-Ex all over it. So I purchased a brand new one. I've been really enjoying using this brand new diary. It just makes me feel a lot more organised and just clearer in my head about, you know, what I'm doing and stuff if my diary is neat and tidy. And with this little planner as well, it came with this little set of pens, and they've got little eraser sponges on the top as well, and then a main eraser which is also magnetic. So again, like I say, you can actually have them sort of like attached. If you're going to have them on a metal backing or something, you can actually attach it all. It's all magnetic, so that's quite handy. But I mean, I ended up keeping the eraser and the pens in my little desk drawer, just because it's not going on the wall, it's just literally sitting on the top of my desk. So I'm going to start here with my desk drawer and yeah, get that sorted, and then work my way down sort of on to the shelf and the little cupboard that you can see there, and just generally have a sort out and just organise this desk area a little bit better.
No, you couldn't stand tall, so why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel
we deserve. So listen, baby, listen carefully, 'cause I got something to say. I feel us fading, listen carefully. Let's stop this charade, stop this charade. Stop this charade. Stop this charade. I would give you the world if it was up to me. It's not too late to be heard, so tell me what I need to know. Tell me what I need to know. And stop this charade. Let's stop this charade. Stop this charade. Stop this charade. I don't wanna play no games no more. Stop this charade.
We're driving down the boulevard, cruising with the windows down, feeling like we run this town. Your song is on the radio, the one you always like, the one that always gets you psyched. We've been drinking all the cheap wine all night, acting stupid but it feels so right. I know that we will all be just fine, but tonight I just wanna dance it off. Ignore the world with me tonight. Wanna dance it off. Put your body next to mine. I can't get the smile off my face. Don't really have a reason why, but I don't even have to try. This feeling is here to stay. Let's keep it going all night. Don't stop till we see sunlight. We've been drinking all that cheap wine all night, acting stupid but it feels so right. I know that we will all be just fine, but tonight I just wanna dance it off. Ignore the world with me tonight. Wanna dance it off. Put your body next to mine.
Now I'm just sorting out my camera bag and just putting a few things from the cupboard and the drawer that I'd dug out away in here, just the bits and pieces that need to go in this camera bag, and just rearranging stuff that I've taken out of the cupboard or the drawer and just putting it back where it belongs, where I know that I can find it.
I just wanna dance it off. Ignore the world with me tonight. Wanna dance it off. Put your body next to mine. Just wanna dance it off. Ignore the take it back. There's a party downtown, someone said that you're coming by. I know that summer was a big mistake. I just hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want to what we want. There's a party downtown, we are drunk and the music's loud. I forget that we're done, that you're back with your girlfriend now. For a minute, I'm back where we started, in that hallway. We couldn't keep our hands away from each other. Did you ever tell her I have to sleep in the bed I made? I don't sleep much at all these days, 'cause you always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds.
And the printer I ended up obviously taking out from under my desk and just popping it under the sofa here in this storage area, along with that excess printer paper. I just grabbed a sort of a handful of paper out and just put it on the shelf underneath my desk, just because sometimes the kids like to ask for a couple of sheets of paper to draw or cut out things and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd keep some bits of paper handy, and then just put the rest underneath the sofa out of the way. Now I'm moving on to the top of my desk. I'm just going to take everything off. I'm just going to give this a good wipe over with some antibacterial spray. Obviously give my laptop a bit of a clean as well and a bit of a dust, and then I'll be popping my planner on the top of the desk and rearranging everything. And after sort of fiddling around and changing bits and pieces around on here, I did end up taking that cake stand kind of thing away, and I just put a couple of bits on my desk and stuff without that cake stand. I just put that cake stand away just because it's a little bit of an awkward shape. Obviously it's round, and it had been fine to obviously sort of put certain bits and pieces on it, but because the planner was on here and I want to be able to sort of like move my laptop aside or just one or two bits and be able to write on my planner as well and be able to see everything that's on here, I didn't think it was kind of practical anymore. There wasn't quite enough space. I've kept the top of the desk very minimal. There's only a couple of bits on there, and I just took this cake stand away and just put it away in the cupboard. It was just easier that way. So even though you can actually see it, I've put it back on my desk now, the overview that you'll see of how it turned out is actually not there.
I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, no, it's no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Now, no, it's no more, no. I really thought we had it covered. Was gonna patch up all the scars, but we smashed up all the parts. Oh, na, na, na. Always knew that you were stubborn, but didn't know it'd be so hard to figure out who you really are. I guess
And I also purchased this foam footrest from eBay. If I can find the link, I'll link it below in the description box. But this was actually better than that pink and white stool that I had down here, which used to be in the bathroom. It was the kids for obviously being able to reach up to the sink to clean their teeth and things, and they don't need it anymore. They haven't used it for a long time, and it had kind of been underneath my desk, but because of the shape of it, it was just not really great. It didn't look good, it didn't sort of blend in well, so I just decided to get myself that black footrest there, and that's a lot more comfortable anyway. So that is it for this declutter and organise video. I hope this gave you plenty of motivation to get up and declutter and reorganise parts of your home if there's any areas that really need tackling. And I really hope you enjoyed it, even if you didn't declutter and organise with me. Hopefully you just enjoyed watching me go through all of this and just seeing the neater end result. And if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with all of my videos, which I post every Sunday. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Passion in the comatose, baby, going down.